Think you know the toughest giants of the African plains? You've heard the myths, the rhino's unstoppable charge, the hippo's gentle yawn. But what if I told you the truth is far more complex and far more dangerous? These are Africa's armored giants, two species that shape their environments, command respect, and embody survival itself. Today, we uncover the secrets behind their strength, their struggles, and their surprising intelligence. At first glance, the rhinoceros and hippopotamus seem like distant cousins, hulking, gray, and prehistoric. But while both are built like tanks, their worlds couldn't be more different. Adult male hippos weigh up to 4,000 pounds, with some exceeding 9,000 pounds. White rhinos, the larger of Africa's two rhino species, can reach 5,000 pounds. Hippos have barrel-shaped bodies built for buoyancy, while rhinos possess dense, muscular frames optimized for land-based power. Although rhinos are slightly heavier on average, hippos carry more mass in water, giving them surprising agility where it counts most. The African continent is divided by more than landscapes. It's divided by survival zones. Rhinos thrive where grass grows tall and dust runs deep, shaping their territories around feeding grounds. Hippos, however, are creatures of the current. Their days revolve around water, where they rest, communicate, and protect their young. When night falls, they emerge from the rivers to feed, traveling miles on land before dawn. For both, the land-water boundary defines who they are and how they live. Both species carry natural armor. A rhino's skin can reach 2 inches thick, scarred, tough, yet sensitive enough to detect the touch of a fly. A hippo's skin is thinner, but extraordinary. It secretes a red fluid that acts as both sunscreen and antibacterial lotion, keeping wounds from festering in swampy waters. Armor, in their world, is not a luxury, it's survival. The rhino's horn is both weapon and tragedy. Made of keratin, the same material as human nails, it's used in combat, defense, and communication. Yet, it's also a death sentence. Across Africa, rhinos are hunted for these very horns, fetching prices higher than gold. In nature, the horn is a tool of life. In human hands, it's become a symbol of loss. A hippo's jaws are a marvel of natural engineering. They can open nearly 150 degrees, armed with tusks up to 20 inches long. With a single bite, a hippo can crush bone and snap wood. While rhinos threaten with their charge, hippos dominate through intimidation. Their yawning display isn't boredom. It's a warning that death can follow if their space is invaded. Speed meets stealth. A rhino's strength lies in raw acceleration. It can reach 30 miles per hour in seconds, a terrifying sight for anything in its path. The hippo, seemingly clumsy on land, transforms underwater. It doesn't swim. It walks and bounces gracefully along the riverbed, using buoyancy and momentum to move effortlessly through the current. Two giants, two forms of motion, both unstoppable in their element. Rhinos are grazers and browsers, feeding on grasses and shrubs depending on species. They consume up to 100 pounds of vegetation a day. Hippos graze too, but mostly under the cover of night. As nocturnal feeders, they leave the river once the sun sets, venturing into the savanna before returning by dawn. Their paths often create hippo highways, trails that shape the landscape for other animals. Communication is subtle but vital. Rhinos leave territorial markers, dung heaps that act as olfactory signposts. Each pile carries information, age, gender, and reproductive status. Hippos, meanwhile, communicate through deep bellows and grunts, often underwater. Their calls can travel for miles through the river, echoing like the heartbeat of the wetland. Rhinos are mostly solitary, with males fiercely defending their territories. The exception is the bond between mother and calf, one of the most tender relationships in the animal kingdom. For years, the calf follows its mother's every move, learning where to graze, when to flee, and how to survive. In a world ruled by strength, gentleness becomes the rhino's quiet weapon. Unlike the solitary rhino, the hippo thrives in numbers. They live in pods, also called bloats, often containing up to 30 individuals. At the heart of each pod is a dominant bull, a massive male that controls both space and breeding rights. Males patrol constantly, asserting dominance through displays and roaring contests. Females cluster together, forming bonds that help raise young and defend against predators. Calves often rest on their mothers' backs to avoid crocodiles, learning early that safety lies in the group. Each pod is a microcosm of river life, peaceful at a glance, but charged with hidden tension beneath the surface. Rhinos and hippos rarely meet, but when they do, the results can be explosive. On dry land, rhinos dominate with their horns and speed. In water, hippos rule with sheer ferocity and force. Recorded encounters show mutual respect, a tense standoff where both giants gauge each other's strength before retreating. It's a silent understanding between rulers of two realms. For all their power, these titans are vulnerable. Rhinos suffer in drought, when grasses wither and water grows scarce. Hippos, tied to rivers, face starvation when waterways dry up or are diverted for human use. Their size, once an advantage, becomes a burden when the environment fails. These are not immortal beasts. They are prisoners of their ecosystem's balance. Human expansion is their greatest threat. For rhinos, poaching remains relentless, driven by black markets that trade their horns for profit and superstition. Hippos, though less discussed, suffer from human-wildlife conflict. As farmland spreads and rivers shrink, hippos wander into villages at night, destroying crops and attacking when cornered. They are killed in retaliation. Both species pay the price of human progress, but not all is lost. Across Africa, conservationists and communities are fighting back. Anti-poaching teams, armed with drones and GPS trackers, monitor rhino populations around the clock. Sanctuaries provide safe havens for orphan calves. Meanwhile, sustainable water projects and protected wetland zones help preserve hippo habitats. Education programs are changing perceptions, showing that coexistence, not conflict, is the key to long-term survival. Every life saved is a victory in this ongoing battle for Africa's giants. The fate of these armored titans lies not only in Africa's wilderness, but in our choices. Supporting conservation organizations, reducing demand for wildlife products, and protecting natural waterways all contribute to their survival. By valuing these species not as trophies or threats, but as living symbols of resilience, we preserve something far greater, the balance of nature itself. If you're fascinated by the hidden dynamics of Africa's wildlife, please like this video, click the hype button, comment, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an in-depth exploration of nature's most epic showdowns. The rhino and the hippo, two forces of nature, each ruling a different realm. One, the sentinel of the savannah. The other, the guardian of the river. Together, they are reminders of a wild world that still beats with ancient strength. Yet their survival is not guaranteed. It depends on us, on awareness, respect, and the will to protect what remains. Two armored giants, two worlds, one enduring story of strength, balance, and the eternal fight for survival.